The following episode may contain inappropriate material. Listener discretion is advised.
Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Matlock, 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 Matlock. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another fabulous edition of Mattalk. This episode is something else, and can't wait to chat with you all about it.
You know what? I'm glad that you had a song prepared because I was not ready to sing anything, and I couldn't think of something off the top of my head just before you hit the record button. So thanks for bailing me out with that. Take me out to the ball game. That was pretty nice.
Thanks, man. I try.
I mean, what are some other good sports anthems? I mean, I know ESPN used to put out jock jams that were packed with them, but
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun,
yeah. There's also We Will Rock You. I mean, that's a good one.
To the Space Jam. Here's your chance to do your dance at the Space Jam.
Maybe.
All right.
I don't know. I think that one's predominantly only basketball. I think all these other ones you could use like
I don't
any
know.
sport. I don't know.
I don't watch sports ball.
That's right. Well, let's talk about it. We are going to be heavily focusing on softball, Jason, and I have it written down. I know you're not a sports guy, but you ever play any softball?
I've played baseball before and t-ball. I like playing sports. I enjoy it. I'm not good at them, but I enjoy playing them. I am good at being a quarterback in football. At least I used to be. But I do not enjoy watching them. And I think baseball is tied for most boring with soccer and golf.
You know what? I think soccer, I don't find it boring. I do like it better in person, though. I will say that. I do like it better in person. I suck at baseball or softball. I played softball one time when I first moved to Columbus. My roommate was like, "Man, we need another person. We'll just stick you out in the outfield. All right, right field. No balls. Oh, dude, balls got hit all the time to me, and I suck at fielding. I was like, get me out of here. And I don't bat well, and I'm not fast when I run. So overall, I'm a dumpster fire when it comes to playing softball or baseball.
I've fallen asleep at a soccer field before.
What?
The Crew Stadium. I fell asleep watching the game.
How's that even possible?
Dude, they just kick the ball back and forth.
Oh, jeez. All right. We're going to table this discussion for another time.
I've also fallen asleep during a Blue Jackets game.
What? What is wrong with you?
I don't know, man. It's just not my thing. I've tried. I did go to a Blue Jackets game once, and there was a fight, and that was exciting.
I don't know what more to say on that other than I do have some friends, by the way, that play softball that are pretty hardcore. I don't know if they're hardcore enough to kill somebody, but nonetheless, Jason, shall we get into our opening statements?
Let's do it.
All right, it's time for our opening statement.
Strike one.
The episode that we are reviewing is called The Umpire, and it originally aired on January 26th, 1988. We have some very interesting guest stars. And Jason, I'm going to start with Diane Behrens. She will be playing the role of Patty Judd. Little interesting fact, Jason. She's also appearing in 3 other episodes. She's in a total of 4 Matlock episodes, playing the roles of Patty Judd, as I mentioned, Lydia Lewin, and Emily McCullough.
Dude, that's an 80s thing, because I'm watching, as we've talked about in previous, I'm watching Murder, She Wrote, and John Astin has showed up in 4 or 5 different episodes, as I'm pretty sure 4 or 5 different characters. And I'm only in the first 8 episodes of season 2.
Oh, hold on to your pants for a moment, because here we go. Our other guest star is Mitchell Lawrence. He plays the role of Roger Cullen. And you may also know him as playing Benjamin Gold on Dawson's Creek. And he was on 9 other episodes of Matlock.
Yeah, it's a thing.
It is. By the way, I also put down he was Elliot Weinstein on Cop Rock. And nobody remembers Cop Rock because they probably shouldn't. It was that bad. All right, now to the big guns. These are 2, I guess you could say, 5-star guest stars. Of course, I think at the time only one of them had any notoriety. But Jim Beaver is in the episode. He will be playing the role of Barney Sutler. You may know him for his work on the current sitcom Be Positive, as he plays the role of Spencer.
I love Be Positive. I am a Chuck Lorre fan. I will not apologize for that. But I do watch Be Positive. It's about a guy.
So you're familiar with Spencer?
Whose kidney is doing rough, and then an old friend who's a mess decides to help him get the kidney. And once they get through the kidney season, they completely change the focus to a nursing home. And I believe Spencer is in the nursing home.
Okay. We may also remember him as Robert Singer on The Boys, Lawson on Breaking Bad, Sheriff Parlow on Justified, and Whitney Ellsworth on Deadwood, on top of many other credits. Jim Beaver is just one of those dudes that he's done a lot of stuff, man. Any of these others ring a bell? I know you watched The Boys.
I watched Breaking Bad. I've watched Supernatural. I don't think I watched when he was on it, though.
Justified, do you ever watch?
I never watched. I did watch The Ranch, though.
Okay.
That's what I mostly remember him from, was The Ranch.
I'm going to admit something here, and this is probably going to cause some controversy. I like a good drama. I can't finish Deadwood. I got through season 1, and it was just a chore to get through season 1. I can't get through the other seasons. And I like Timothy Olyphant. I like Ian McShane. I like Jim Beaver. I like Molly Parker. But just, good God, it just moves at a snail's pace. I just can't get through it. And I feel bad because I like a lot of HBO shows, but I don't know what's up with me. I just can't get through Deadwood.
I don't know. You're broken.
My spirit is broken.
Deadwood has no interest in, that's something I'd have to be at a friend's house and they'd have to make me watch to get into it, because Westerns in general don't usually strike my fancy. But this guy was in 3 of the 4 big cop dramas of the 80s. He was in Jake and the Fat Man, Matlock, and a Perry Mason movie of the week. Sadly, no Murder, She Wrote, though.
Well, hey, Jim Beaver tried to get all the way around to all those shows. He only got to those 3. So, all right, let's talk about it. The main event, the main star of our guest stars, Richard Klein, will be starring as Charlie Bonham. Now, you probably know him, Jason, as Larry Dallas from Three's Company.
That's what he's from. He looked familiar through the whole thing, and I couldn't place it.
Well, here's a couple of his other credits. Judge Anjoli on Blue Bloods, Bill Hansen on The Americans, Tuggy McKenna on Maude. I don't know what kind of character's named Tuggy if you're picking up what I'm setting down. And interestingly enough, he was also Detective Cheatham on Sidekicks, which, as we know, was the show that Nancy Stafford was working on before she joined the cast of Matlock. So, all right. With that, Jason, are you willing to give an opinion? Your opinion, and only your opinion, so help you?
I'm always ready to do all of the above. And man, that show, Sidekicks, had a not very bad cast. Giovanni Ribisi, Richard Klein, Michael Richards, pre-racism, I'm going to assume. Don Cheadle, nice. Ernie Reyes Jr.
That was a very, very random segue, by the way.
Oh, you're welcome.
Okay. All right. Are you ready, Jason, to testify?
Testify!
Plot of this episode is that Matlock must defend an insurance salesman accused of killing his boss and a softball umpire, meaning that his boss is the umpire for the softball team as well, not that he's killing 2 people at once. So, opening scene, man. We are at the real estate office of Cullen and Judd. and Charlie is sitting there, and he's trying to sell the Nelsons on a brand new place. Do you know what this reminded me of? Jason, have you ever seen the epic ensemble movie called Glengarry, Glen Ross?
No, I have it. I'm ready to watch it. I have not seen it.
Oh, you need to do yourself justice and sit down and watch it, because I'll tell you right now, there's nobody on that cast that busts chops better than Alec Baldwin. I mean, he just lays it on thick. Best part of the movie, if I may say so. And he's only in the movie 5 minutes. But that's what it reminded me of, some shady real estate dealings,
Mm-hmm.
Well, lo and behold, somebody has vandalized Walt's car. In fact, they spray painted on it, "Kill the Umpire." Charlie's team is accused of doing it, and Walt and Charlie argue. Jason, would you be intimidated if you walked out and your wonderful automobile was vandalized?
I'd be mad.
You wouldn't be startled, you'd be mad?
Yeah, I don't know about intimidated. I'd be mad.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be very upset as well. So we cut to a scene where the guys, Charlie and his team, are sitting around the bar. And I wrote this down because there's nothing more 80s than this line when Charlie says, "Can we get another round of wine coolers?"
I love wine coolers.
But you don't play softball. I think if you're playing softball, you need to be drinking beer, not wine coolers.
I don't know. Softball seems like a wine cooler sport. Now,
What?
beer and baseball. If it was baseball, you'd expect beer. But softball, I think wine coolers is acceptable.
You need to hang around some more softball players, because I will tell you right now, every one of those coolers in the dugout has got Bud Light in it, not Gatorade.
I mean, if I have a choice between Bud Light and wine coolers, I'm getting the wine coolers.
Are you saying you're not a fan of Bud Light?
That's okay.
Okay.
In the
All
same
right.
sense that water's okay.
I think you're ragging on Bud Light.
I like it with lime.
Ugh. Lime. Bud. Ugh. Gross. Anyways, so the guys are at the bar before the game, and the team is thinking that Walt is going to screw them over somehow because he's the ump and he has some beef, if you will, with Charlie. And so we go to the game, and I really did like throughout the episode how they did like the selective editing to take you back to the actual plays when they discuss them. I like that a lot. Charlie, unfortunately, as he's coming home, he's called out at home, even though he claims the slide was good and that he was safe. But Walt says, "You're out of here!" Charlie disputes the call, and then he looks for Walt post-game. And what do you know, Jason? He breaks your number one rule, finds Walt dead, he picks up the bat, and what do you know? Some people discover Charlie holding the bat over top of Walter. I know you got to be mad about that.
Of course they did. I mean, this is just, it's 80s dramas 101. Grab the weapon. Make yourself look as guilty as, roll around on the body. Get that blood all over you. Rub your fingers throughout the hair. Pull up their hand, have them scratch you real quick. Whatever you can do to get yourself accused of murder.
Your sarcasm is duly noted. All right. So the guys meet up to talk about Charlie and the death of Walter. And the guys decide they're going to pull their money together to get an attorney, Ben Matlock. And what do you know? The waitress clues them in that Ben is at the bar reading the newspaper. First of all, why that was so weird. Am I the only one that thought that was weird? That he's just hanging out there? I actually thought maybe he's like scoping out these guys. Like he knows, he's like, oh, I'm gonna snoop and see if these guys are legit or not. What do you think of this scene?
Ben gets around, man. That's all I can say. Is he does a lot of things that would surprise all of us.
Yeah, so he strolls over, and some of the guys debate whether Ben's good or not, and it was kind of like a job interview. And Ben just throws it down. He's like, "Hey man, 100,000. That's my fee. You want the best? That's how much the best costs. You have to make a decision before I leave."
So he does say that. I'm sure there's some other people that are just as fine as I am.
Yeah,
that are
yeah, but he's the best. Cue that Karate Kid song. You're the best. Anyways, Then we go to a scene that honestly, what was going on with this scene? It was a scene with Ben checking out at the restaurant with the girl at the register, and it seemed to go on forever. I don't think we need all of that. All right, so Ben takes the case, and he goes down to the police station, and hey, we have a new cop. Where's Bob Brooks?
Quit.
Maybe he's off dancing, with the gigolo. So we find out that Ben played a little ball in high school because he tells the cop a little bit about it before he's kind of interrupted. And Ben goes in to interview Charlie. And again, he brings up the fact that he played a little ball in high school. He's kind of like Al Bundy, if you will.
I don't know. Bundy really hangs on to his touchdowns.
He does. Indeed.
He does start chanting his name, though.
Yes. Matlock. So Charlie presents his side of the story, and so then we cut to a scene where Ben and Michelle are at the baseball field, and Ben's out there reliving his glory, and he even imagines the PAs going on, and you see Ben practicing his batting stance. And what do you think of that batting stance there, Jason?
That was my reaction. I giggled.
It does seem weird. Like it does. I don't know if he's holding the bat wrong, but it just seemed awkward. Michelle comes and lets him know that she was not a bad athlete herself, that she got herself a triple one time in a game. She, though, is going to go off to interview a gentleman named Freddie. Freddie was on the softball team. He's involved with selling insurance to several of the guys that are on the team. He seems a bit dodgy, and man, oh man, does Patty Judd seem to be pretty angry. She seems like she's very, very hostile to people.
Yeah.
Michelle brings up that Walt and Freddie have a friendship, and they've argued a few weeks before, but eventually she decides that she has enough information and leaves. And then, who enters the picture, Jason?
Tyler Hudson.
And
more than a cameo this episode.
That's right. He's got a hefty role this time in this episode. He's discussing things with, of course, Jim Beaver's character of Barney Sutler. Barney claims that he was drinking while he was playing, so he left the game for a while. Tyler theorizes that Walt may have screwed Sutler out of $2 million in a real estate deal, and that might be his motive. Meanwhile, Ben is interviewing Roger. Roger claimed there was a break-in in the business, and Roger claims that he was not at the game due to traffic. I thought the break-in was very shoehorned in. Like, why did we need to know that?
I don't know.
Because it never did anything. It never shows up, and it never moves the storyline any. Tyler, Ben, and Michelle, they decide to have some lunch or dinner, maybe. I'm not sure. And they're at a sushi bar. Boy, Tyler loves the sushi, does he not?
Yes, I wanted to be there with them.
Ben's not so high on the sushi, is he?
No, I don't know, man. I think it's an old school thing because, like, my grandmother, I can't get her to try sushi to save my life.
Really?
Yeah, she's just like, no.
Is there any other food that your grandmother will not sample or not try?
Not really.
Okay.
Just the idea of fish, raw fish.
Gotcha. Ben asked Tyler to do a stakeout of the real estate office, and Tyler obliges and takes with him some of his sushi. He's got, as I wrote down, he's got Meals on Wheels, man.
Yeah, he does. So he's about to be wearing that sushi.
That's right, because a gentleman tries to enter the office, and Tyler scares him. Now, I didn't understand why he blew the horn. Like, why not sneak up on the guy? You know what I mean? Like, I was like, you blowing the horn, that's going to tip him off. But nonetheless, he scares him, and a car chase starts, but it ends very, very quickly when Tyler almost hits Freddie, who just happens to be in the neighborhood, apparently.
Yeah, breaking in places.
Maybe. Well, are you meaning that Freddie was the guy breaking into that office? Because Freddie wasn't, because he was in the car. He was in the black sedan, not the yellow Camaro. Oh, yeah. There's the yellow Camaro, ladies and gentlemen. I rock Z. Jason, would you like to time travel a little bit?
Sure.
Okay. Let's get in our time machine, and let's go back for this next scene to the 1950s. Wah, 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 Boom. Here we are in the 1950s.
Wow,
So what
that's
do we do?
exactly what time travel sounds like.
Thank you. Hey, I've traveled through time a couple of times. Anywho, the point of this whole silliness is that the crew, Michelle, Tyler, Ben, they're all having lunch. Why are they at a 50s diner? Like, I don't understand it.
They have good food at a diner.
I guess, but like Ben gets to say, these places still around. They went out of business 30 years ago. And like, I don't understand why this scene was. There's a lot of scenes that I'm just like, why are they in here? Like, what's up with that?
That one is just a hint that they're not in their normal playground.
Okay. So they're not hanging out at the hot dog cart outside the courthouse, is what you're saying.
Because she says, well, outside of Atlanta, some of these places are still around.
Oh, that's right. She did say
something
that.
like that. Paraphrase.
Yeah. You're right. So they're that's giving us the idea that the setting, even though the courthouse is the same courthouse, we see exterior shots of it. So I don't know. Maybe it might have been a continuity issue that nobody picked up on. So, hey man, I think Michelle is double dipping on this job. Like, I'll go get a facial. I'll go get a haircut. Wait a minute. You're getting on. How is Ben letting her get away with this on his dime?
Because he doesn't want to tell her no.
I guess not. All right, let's go back to 2022. There we are, back in 2022.
And yes, folks, when you time travel, a cat dies.
What?
You sound like a dying cow when you make that noise.
A dying cow. First I was a cat, now I'm a cow.
Oh, sorry, a dying cat. That's what I meant.
Talk about continuity issues. Jesus.
I did that on purpose.
All right, sure you did. Anyways, we find out as Michelle and Tyler are kind of working some leads that Freddie was the man that started the league and that he works with a lot of the fellas on the team with their insurance needs. Tyler sees the yellow Camaro from the previous night, and so he goes in and tricks Patty Judd into revealing that it's her car. But then out comes Freddie to defend Patty, and like, man, the intensity of the stare down between Tyler and Patty and Freddie. Yeah, thank you. Okay, that was creepy for folks. And folks, no, I have to describe this. Jason's putting his camera clear up to his face. It's very startling.
That's how I roll.
That's how you roll. Tyler and Michelle go off to Walt's office to get some evidence of their own. So we go to the courtroom. Roger's on the stand, and he basically just testifies about the softball game. He does reveal that Charlie is not in the real estate business, because Walt refused to loan him the money because Charlie is a little bit short on cash. And then Roger says the stupidest thing. The next thing I know, he's standing over him with a lead bat. As far as I know, there's never been a lead bat in softball. They're aluminum or wood, I suppose, if you're going back in the day, but there's no lead bat. How freaking heavy would that bat be to try to swing if it was made of lead?
They're heavy.
Are you researching lead bats?
I am.
Okay, well, you let me know. I'm pretty sure there isn't such thing as a lead bat.
I am not pulling up lead. I think I'm spelling lead wrong.
Are you spelling it like Led Zeppelin? LED?
Tried it many different ways, John.
Well, listen here. Listen. While you're looking that up, I'm going to continue on and talk a little bit about our good friend Freddie, all right?
Yeah.
So Freddie's put on the stand. He was in charge of the life insurance for Walt. And what Matlock has discovered is that Freddie was screwing Walt out of money for the premiums for his life insurance, as it hasn't been active in 10 years. Do you know what, Jason? Freddie has an alibi.
Yep, they do make lead baseball bats.
What? Well, be a monkey's uncle. I did not know that.
But they're illegal.
They're illegal to use?
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering. Hey, if you guys out there have more information on this other than a quick Google search, you can email us at benmattalk@gmail.com.
Or you can drop us a line on our social medias. Of course, we're talking about Facebook at Mattalk Podcast, or on Twitter at Mattalk_podcast. All right. Yeah, let us know. Maybe you have more I don't know, expertise, that's the word I'm looking for, than we do when it comes to softball and baseball. But let's talk about Freddie's alibi, Jason. Let's talk about it because it fires up Ben Matlock.
Oh, dude, yeah, because they were doing you know what
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the car.
Patty and he were in a car doing you know what.
And Ben wants to know how long they were you knowing in the car. And he says, how long were you knowing in the car? And I love that line.
Yeah, and then when Freddie goes, I don't know, from the third inning to the ninth, and he goes, 6 innings, you're kidding me. And then he's outraged. He just loses his mind and goes bonkers, and the judge has to remind him multiple times, Mr. Matlock, get yourself under control. So we go back to the ball field again, where Michelle is timing out Charlie's path, all right? And it times out at 64 seconds. And Ben is baffled as to why Charlie didn't see anybody. Like he didn't see anybody else around, all right, on the night of the murder. So Ben re-interviews Charlie, and what is discovered out of this whole conversation is that Walt's counter for balls, strikes, and outs is different than Charlie's memory. So we go back to the courtroom. Roger is on the stand. And you know what? I'm going to stop for a minute. What did you think of Roger Cullen in terms of the character? What did you think?
I don't know. I didn't like very many of these characters in general.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I thought he was pretty. I thought he was
nice.
No, I think he was pretty swarthy, if you will, and sarcastic. I thought he did a good job.
No, that's what I mean. They were swirly and sarcastic. I just meant the characters weren't super likable.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So Ben claims that someone is embezzling from the real estate firm because there's this property that was sold and the money wasn't dispersed into the accounts of the real estate agency. And so the theory that Matlock puts out here is that Roger showed up at the game and he knew that after every inning, Walt would go and take a quick smoke break under the stands. And so he was waiting for Walt. And during the 8th inning break, Walt goes down there, takes a puff, gets waylaid, and then Roger dresses up like the umpire and goes out and finishes the game. And so the counter doesn't match the final record of stats because he messed it all up in the struggle.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think the Naked Gun when they were talking about swapping out the umpires? Because that's what I thought about.
Yes, of course.
I also remember watching a 48 Hours one time years ago when I was in high school, where there was a guy in Hartford, Connecticut that seduced and scammed women out of their money because he would claim that he would be like the third string goaltender for the Hartford Whalers or the third string catcher for whatever baseball team happened to be in Boston, right? Like visiting. And how nobody ever thought to check that out. And guess what? As you know, Jason, I'm a huge hockey fan, and I don't know if I could pick out, the backup goaltender, let alone the third string goaltender, without their gear on. I couldn't do it.
No, I could not either.
He got busted, by the way, when he was watching a game with a woman, and he claimed, that he wasn't needed that night. That's why I had the night off, and in a real weird circumstance, he claimed he was playing for the Tigers or something. So the Tigers starting catcher was ill, so they started the backup, and the backup got hurt in the game, and so they put the third string guy in, which was this guy who he was claiming to be. Goes to show you, crime doesn't pay, folks. All right, Roger's alibi that he's sticking to is that, man, I was stuck in traffic. What happened is that Matlock stated there was an accident on the road, but it was going the other way. So you could zip right through. And then also the final nail in the coffin is that as Charlie slid into home base, he cleated or spiked the ump, and there was no spike marks on Walt's body through the autopsy. And then Matlock asked for him being, of course, Roger, to pull his pant leg up, and he won't because he lawyers up and the case is dismissed. First of all, I think that, like Matlock says, the game happened 12 days ago. That's a very speedy trial. Like, how many trials in real life you get like an incident that happens, then it's like months, if not years later, that it goes to trial. But here, 12 days.
And I want to go back to the car accident thing.
Yeah.
That's a flimsy excuse because there is a such thing as rubbernecking. And the other side of traffic definitely can slow down to a halt.
Correct. Absolutely. And you would think they could maybe cross-check that, with like, oh, the police were there. We checked and they didn't see a red Maserati go eastbound on it. You know what I mean? Like, it was flimsy. Much like the fact that if you got spiked, I think after 7 days, your wounds would heal. And here, Matlock's like, oh, they're still fresh after 12 days. Yeah, if you're an idiot and you're not taking care of them and putting like Neosporin on them or whatnot.
Well, it doesn't work, John. It does work. So he got him to refuse to show off his legs. I didn't just show my leg. Like, good Lord. Like, I fell down a flight of stairs. My legs got scraped up.
I like how I don't know why that was so funny to me. Show me your legs. I don't know why. Anyways.
You want to see them? Here they are.
So the case is dismissed and all ends well. And that wraps up our episode. Jason, do you have any notes you want to talk about?
No, not really. I like the knowing in the car. That was a good scene. And him on the baseball mound going, Matlock.
All right, well then, let's get into our closing statements. This is the part of the podcast where we will rate this episode, and we will rate it based on a gavel system. 5 gavels for an absolutely awesome episode, 1 gavel for a lousy episode. Not only will we give this rating, but we will also justify why we are giving it. With that, Jason, do you want to start?
Sure, John. I would love to start. Let's talk about this episode. This episode is fine. It's another middle of the road episode for me. I don't have a lot of negatives about it. I don't have anything super overly positive about it, but it was a good episode, fine episode of Matlock. I give it a 3 out of 5, and I'll take a 3 out of 5 episode any day of the week.
All right. Tell your daughter, God bless you, by the way.
God bless you, Kylie.
Jason, I agree with you wholeheartedly as well. I gave it a 3 out of 5.
Oh, wow. We're even the same on the ranking, because the last time you said you agreed with me, it was like
4 to 3.
4 out of 3 or 4 out of 5. And that's not agreeing. That's going a whole extra point up.
Well, I was justified. I explained why I gave it. But this one, I gave it a 3. I thought there was some good acting. I liked Tyler's role and his intensity in that one showdown. I liked that the co-stars were, especially Richard Klein, I thought was really good. The negatives for me, I thought the motive and the alibi was weak. I didn't like the switching umps. I thought that was too comedic. And also, too, did you notice that Ben's baseball fantasies just quickly disappeared? Like, I thought that we'd get at least 1 or 2 more, but nah, they just stopped midway through the episode. So,
yeah,
all right,
just needed it for the beginning to fill some time.
Yeah. So, all right. With that being said, then, Jason, let's talk about your other podcasting projects, such as the 3 Geeks podcast.
You guys can find us everywhere you find podcasts, 3geeks.ninja, at 3geeks podcast. There's so much coming down the road, and I can't wait for you to check it out.
And where can folks find out about the 3 Geeks?
Oh, I said that. 3geeks.ninja and at 3geeks podcast.
I'm sorry, I overlooked that. Sorry.
Oh, you are fine, John.
No, I'm not, because I have to sneeze, I think. And it won't be dainty and ladylike like Kylie's. Mine will be loud and obnoxious. You can check out my personal podcasting project, the PVD Cast. I know that was a lot of alliteration with the letter P. Anyways, you can find it at pvdcast.com or on all of those major podcasting applications. Check it out. We've got a new episode that just dropped here last week. You should check it out if you like pro wrestling. And Jason, let's hit them up one more time where they can talk to us if they want to leave a message or chat with us or whatnot.
You guys can find us at bnmattalk@gmail.com. Hit me up. Let me know what's up.
And you can also find us on Facebook at Mattalk Podcast and Twitter at Mattalk_podcast. And with that, Jason, shall we go ahead and get on out of here?
Let's do it, man.
Do you want to go to the baseball field around the corner and relive your dreams?
Sure.
Fame and fortune?
Do it.
Okay.
I always wanted to play for the White Sox.
Okay. You got it. We'll get some sushi first, though. Okay.
Yeah. Or Minnesota with Kirby Puckett.
Nice. Oh man, somebody who doesn't watch sports. Kirby Puckett.
Oh, dude, I used to want to fit in with my friends. I watched sports when I was younger.
All the truth comes out now in the final moments of this.
And I love sports video games. Don't get me started.
Okay. We'll table that for another time. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening. And as they say in court, nothing further. The following has been a joint production of the Three Geeks Podcast and John Orlando Enterprises, LLC.